Hola, hoy estamos aquí para ver y conocer a la selección austriaca con un fan del Rapid de Viena. Él se llama Alex.
Hola.
Vamos a hacer la entrevista en inglés. Pueden verlos con subtítulos en inglés, en español. Y ahora YouTube quiere hacerlos también en portugués y en árabe. Así que sean todos bienvenidos. Ok, Alex, dime, ¿cómo estás?
Good.
English now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, Alex is learning Spanish, but he's still in the process of learning. So that's why we are doing this in English. Sorry for everyone because my English is what it is.
Otherwise, I would have to say this for my Spanish. So yeah. Somebody has to apologize.
Okay. So, where do you want to start? Coach, players, style of game? What is better for you?
I think we can start with the players. I think that will be the most interesting.
See, okay. So, tell me, what do you think about the players? What are the most important? We have the list here about the final draft.
Yeah.
With all the players. So you were telling me something about the keepers.
Yeah. So
situation that you have.
It will be an interesting situation because right now we don't know who will be the number one goalkeeper. It's probably either Patrick Pentz or Alexander Schlager.
Okay.
I think it will be Pentz, but we will probably see it after the game against Tunisia, and I think it's in a week from now, or on the 1st of June, that's it, which will be the last test we have before the World Cup.
Because it's a friendly, no?
It's a friendly, yeah. It's the last It's the last game we have before the World Cup, and I think whoever starts there will be our number one goalkeeper.
Okay.
Patrick Pentz was our number one goalkeeper for the last Euro games. But only because Schlager was injured. So it's a bit difficult. Schlager is getting older though, and his last 2 seasons with Red Bull Salzburg has not been the best. And that's
usually that's the situation with keepers. I remember that Casillas entered to play for the first time in, I think it was semi-finals of Champions League. Maybe not the first time, but when he became like a legend.
Yeah,
it was because he was replacing the keeper because the keeper was injured. So this is the case when the keepers you need to replace somebody who is injured.
Exactly, it's hard to swap places otherwise. Yeah.
Is it the same case with with whom? With Dibu Martinez, the goalkeeper from Argentina. He was replacing Leno, the German guy, and he was amazing for this 6 months in Arsenal. I need to mention Arsenal champions. But yeah, it's the case usually with keepers. They are replacing one and then
that's true,
grabbing this position.
Yeah. And I think that's what we probably will see. The only problem with Patrick Pentz, he's quite small for a goalkeeper.
He says small.
Even I mean, he's bigger than me, and everything. He's not small, but small for a goalkeeper. Yeah, we'll see about that. Still, I think Patrick Pentz will be our number one goalkeeper.
Okay.
But I also think that the goalkeeper position is where we are actually the weakest as a squad. At the same time, I think we are the strongest in our defensive lineup. So I hope that equals each other out, sort of.
So you were telling me something about David, because guys, amigos, no es David Alaba, it's David Alaba.
Sí, David Alaba. Yeah, he's back. He already played full 90 minutes against for Real Madrid. I don't think he will play all the games, at least not over the full distance. the players need to travel much at the World Cup. They play every 3 days, every 4 days. That's tiring. I don't think he will be ready to do that yet, but I think he will play and get subbed out or subbed in. And he's our star player. He's the most important player. But looking at his age, there's not many tournaments left for him. So
yeah, he's 33.
Yeah, he's been around forever, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yes, yeah, and I was checking this. What now that you are talking about the distances. Yeah, it's true, because if you notice, the distances in the tournaments are they are long. Instead of playing one team in one area, they are playing here and there.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. So I want to ask you, wait, is David or David for you?
For me, it's David.
In
German, it's David. I guess people call him David, and I think he's probably fine with both, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say David, not David. David.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay, nice to know. We will come back to pronunciations later. Yeah, I can see you have a player also called Kevin Danso. He's playing for El Pollo, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Relegation battle. Okay, you want to talk about the midfielders, no?
Yeah, I think that's also where we shine. Konrad Laimer had a great season with Bayern. Sabitzer is a good player. We also really like Christoph Baumgartner for the Austrian team. I have to be honest, I haven't followed his season that much, but with the Austrian team, he played very well the last years, and he's definitely one of the most important players here as well. I think, especially in the midfield, everybody can sort of replace each other. If somebody misses a singular game, it's not that bad because the level is quite similar. Of course, Baumgartner, Laimer, Sabitzer are the most important players in our midfield, but they can be replaced. That's something I quite like about the team. The players are on a similar level.
My question is, who is the most important for you in this midfield? I would say Laimer from my point of view. I think the most known and historical player is Sabitzer, maybe. But from my point of view, nowadays with the level shown is Laimer.
For me, it's Laimer and Baumgartner.
Okay. And you were talking about, let's call it Carney. Because his last name is even hard for him, because it is not a specifically German name, it's more African.
I think so, yeah.
So you were saying that he chose the Austrian team over the English.
Exactly. This all happened a couple of months, not too long ago, basically. Together with Paul Wanner at the same time. They chose to play for Austria. I'm excited for it. They are both very young players. That's one issue we have with our squad. Our squad tends to be quite old. But now we have two young, really, really talented players in the squad. And I also think that it shows that the Austrian team is evolving, is getting better, that these young talents choose to play for Austria and not choose to play for England or Germany. Historically, we usually lost those fights for talents. I can't really remember which other players actually chose to play for Austria, which highly talented players actually chose to play for Austria in the last years. And they both immediately made the team, which shows the quality they bring.
Yeah, because we were talking about Paul before, that he was one of the youngest, or not the youngest player to play in or to win the Bundesliga, like the German one.
Yeah, I think he was 16 when he got his first appearances for Bayern Munich. apparently, I just read it up early on Wikipedia, to be fair, but he was the youngest player ever for Bayern to play in the Bundesliga, and also the youngest player to ever win the Bundesliga.
So it's like the future is bright for you now. Like at least you have some players that are starting to show the level and going.
We definitely have two exciting players. I think that's one of the issues with our current squad. The average age is 28, which is.
Yeah, but Laimer is young, I think. No, Laimer is young.
No, I don't think so. I at least for me, he's been around forever. So maybe I'm just too used to him. But I just looked it up. He's 28, so 28. So he's exactly the average.
He got one more.
Yeah,
he got one more.
That's true.
One more maybe. In this, because we call players old when they are like 30.
Yeah.
This is going on with Sabitzer. We're saying, oh, Sabitzer is so old, 32.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's, yeah. And you were saying something about Sabitzer that he's not welcoming in Rapid de Vienna.
No. So he got to Rapid Vienna when he. I need to remember it correctly. I think we bought him from a smaller club in Austria, where he played well. Then came to Rapid, and that's where he really drew attention to. Yeah, he really drew attention to him, and so the story goes that he had in his contract something that forbade him to change to another Austrian club, but only to switch to an international team to like Germany or wherever. And he then wanted to go to Red Bull Salzburg, which is in the same league, and they made it simple. Leipzig bought him for the amount of money that was set in the contract, and immediately loaned him out to Salzburg. And afterwards, apparently, I can't remember it to be honest, but apparently he made some comments that were not that well received. And ever then, he's sort of like a modern Judas. So he's not welcome back in Vienna. Yeah. He's a good player, but he's not welcome back.
And we were checking the players by the way, the Austrian champions is LASK, no?
See, not only the champions, but they also won the cup. So it's double.
Yeah, and for you guys from Panama, this is the old one. I'm waiting for the new one. It's coming. There is a player from Panama in that team that actually make part. It's not somebody there. He was actually playing on the team. So Andrade, congratulations, felicidades, muchacho. I don't know if you will see this, but I'm happy for you. I know Alex is not happy.
No, I'm not.
Because he wants his team to win. But yeah, we need to congratulate him. And you have also here in the national team, you have one player, Saša Kalajdžić.
Yeah.
No? Kalajdžić.
I think he will be interesting for the World Cup. Basically, he had some nasty injuries in the past. I think his last contract was with Wolverhampton, and he actively chose to kind of make the step back. Went to the Austrian league, went to LASK.
To recover.
I think he was fit to play, but to actually play a lot.
Yeah, to recover, like coming back and
into
the rhythm of competition.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it was a bit of a rocky start. The whole season, like the beginning, LASK looked like they could get relegated. Actually, they had a really bad start, but they got a new coach, and then the tide kind of turned, and Kalajdžić just got better and better and better, and especially since like March, April, he's in really, really good form. He won the league, he won the cup with the team. He was important for the team. It definitely paid off for him. He's now part of the squad. And I think it's really important because he's a highly technical player, but at the same time, he's 2 meters tall. So he's just dangerous all around.
So he's a Zlatan.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, because Zlatan was actually very, very good technically.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
You can see he's like...
That's true.
People. Okay, I want to... Well, so the summary is, we have the old players like David, the way you want to call it, Alaba. You have then Konrad Laimer, Marcel Sabitzer, and Marko Arnautović. Those are the players that everybody knows because they have a long spells in different leagues, playing in different teams. But other players that you want us to actually take a look would be this guy, Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Hope I'm saying them well. Maybe this Carney, Chukwuemeka. I hope it's...
I have no idea to spell it either, to be fair. We will see how much he actually gets to play, but I think he could be one of the people who really grow during the tournament.
And Paul Wanner.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Wanner?
I think it depends on where his name really comes from. I would go with Wanner. I have no idea, to be honest.
Wanner? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Kalajdžić, because I think he solves our problem in the attacking front. Both Arnautović and Gregoritsch are really good. There's but they are both a bit old. I think Arnautović is 37.
Yeah,
Gregoritsch.
I think he is forever playing.
Yeah. Gregoritsch is at least 30, I think more like 32, 33. And as we said, there's a lot of playing, long distance traveling. That's not easy for the players. So it's good to have a third player that's in good form. And I think Saša could be that one.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask you before we pass to the coach, because he is a main part of the team, how to say the name or the last name of Alessandro.
Schöpf.
Como?
Schöpf.
Okay. I will make a break on this and we will have it alone.
Yeah.
And then Nicolas is Seiwald, no?
Seiwald, yeah.
So Seiwald. Because EI in español is I in German. I.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, let's talk about the main character of Austrian national team. The coach.
He's definitely the brain behind it all.
Some people will remember or can remember of him. He got also a spell in Manchester United.
That's true, and he left Manchester for Austria, actually.
Yeah, and we are talking about, please.
Sorry?
No, you know the name. I mean,
sorry, I completely missed.
You are the one.
Yeah, Ralf Rangnick.
We are talking about Ralf Rangnick.
Rangnick, yeah.
Rangnick.
Yeah, now you got it. Now you got it perfectly.
Rangnick. His names from northern areas are hard. Okay. So, what is your opinion about him? What is the style? How do you feel? You said he was revolutionary, let's say.
Yeah,
for
that's true.
And Austrian football in general.
So when Red Bull entered the football world with Salzburg, they had a lot of money and no plan, and simply bought players. It didn't go too well. Yeah, just got big names. At some point, Rangnick entered the game, and he actually used all that money, got highly talented young players, and sold them off for a really high amount of money. And
so, wait, give me a second. Salzburg sounds like one team from Spain that wears white from capital city. Like, we have money.
Sort of.
Buy good, yeah. Okay.
Sort of.
Sorry,
only with the
difference.
Before Rangnick, they were actually beatable. When Rangnick entered the game after a few years, they were just untouchable, basically. He really developed that then I think he switched to Leipzig, but basically he was still in the universe, so it wasn't too different.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know the reason why he left the whole Red Bull universe, but he became...
For Manchester, no?
Yeah, but
went to United.
I don't know if he just wanted to like get that experience to be the coach of Manchester United, or if there was something else going on.
I think he was never appointed as a coach there. It just happened.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
sacked the coach at that time. I don't remember who he was. Maybe it was Solskjaer or...
Could be.
Yeah, I think it was him. And they left... if I'm wrong, of course, I will be placing here putting X's on me. Okay. So yeah, Rangnick, how he changed the game in Austrian football?
I think before him we sort of looked down on the team or ourselves. We were more focused on not losing than on actively winning. He definitely really brought up a new spirit in the team, and it showed. Ever since he became our head coach, we play highly disciplined football. The team really follows his game plan, and this has been paying off a lot by now. It was for the first time ever we qualified for the European Games, apart from the one in 2008, which we hosted ourselves.
Italy, you need to take notes so you can qualify. You need to host the tournament.
And now it's the first time since 26 or 8 years that we qualified.
Yeah,
1998, I think.
98
Yeah.
was the last one.
So, yeah, it's the first time in a long time we actually play the World Cup, and I think he's the main reason why we were able to do that.
Okay. Yeah, because I have another Austrian friend, and she was telling me like this mentality, like, oh, it's good that we didn't lose.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just
that's the sort of mentality we had around the national team. We were just trying to not embarrass ourselves instead of, okay, we're gonna win. And that, I think, changed a lot. He managed to change that. He kind of like modernized the entire federation, like the football federation. And we will see. His contract runs out after the World Cup. We don't know what's going to happen. But before the World Cup, he had the chance of joining Bayern Munich as his head coach. But he actually declined that because he wants to do the World Cup with Austria. And then we will see if he chooses to renew the contract or will go somewhere else. Yeah.
I have a question just to know a little bit about how was you remember the group that you had for the qualifiers, because I don't remember.
It was Bosnia.
And you qualified directly.
Yeah, it was Bosnia and Romania, and I remember San Marino because we beat them 10-0. I think there was also Cyprus in it, but I'm not 100% sure about them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I definitely remember Bosnia and Romania. It was a match with Bosnia until the end, but we won the group, and I think we won 6 games out of 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, because some people will think, oh yeah, Austria, that group was easy. So Bosnia is also in the World Cup.
And they bet Italy, right?
Yeah. But I'm just saying that the group was not easy. Bosnia make it.
Yeah.
So they need to play 2 extra games. I don't remember against who they win the first one, but they beat Italy. So it was maybe not the hardest group ever, but it was not easy.
Yeah.
Maybe San Marino is easy, but then the other ones.
Yeah.
Romania was also playing for qualifiers.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
So okay, do you want to say something else about Rangnick, or you can move on to Because I have here a question about but I don't think if you saw the team, the national team when they play in '98, or you were too young, or you were not even in this world.
I wasn't even born. It took me another 3 years.
Yeah. Man, you are making me feel so old. Yeah. Okay. Entonces there is no way we can compare them.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I remember, like, I know the names of the players that played back then. They are big names nowadays, but I have no idea how they played, to be fair.
Okay, so we can expect that Austria will be playing, let's say, maybe not tiki-taka, but expansive, nice to see football.
I think very aggressive. I think we will try to actually be the team playing, not just on the front. Yeah, actually, when we lose the ball, we start attacking at the ball, start pressuring the opponent, look for mistakes. This can also fire back. If you know
modern football, nice.
I think it can be exciting. I think it can be nice to look, but at the same time, it's tiring for the squad. So, over the course of a long tournament, which we will hopefully have, it can fire back. Also, I think that sort of style of play is hard for us when we have an opponent that just parks the bus. That's kind of what we are not used to play against. And
you need to start improving your corner kicks. Champions! No, but you know that's the reason.
Yeah.
Because they park the bus, how to break this.
Exactly.
So you need to then implement different type or different type of move.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why you do that. Yeah, okay, I think we cover everything, no? You have your strengths, your weaknesses.
I think so.
And you talk about the coach, and we can compare it because we need somebody older. Yeah, I was already old in '98. No, I was going to school, if I'm not wrong. Almost the last years of school. But yeah, I remember Austria was playing. I remember it was this album. They have the name in German, so it was Österreich.
Yeah, that's true. Österreich.
And I was like, okay, this is different. Why is but this is the name, original name
in German, yeah.
Okay, so we are done. Do you want to say anything else for the national team? It will be viral, I guess.
No, I think we can have a good tournament. I think it will be the last tournament for some of the players. I think all the players really want to achieve a lot, and I think it's possible looking at our group. We will see what's actually will happen. I hope for the best, and I think it can be a long tournament actually. So,
and the expectations are just to go out of the group, or
they are very mixed, very mixed, to be fair. Some people expect the world, others are happy if we just make it out of the group. It really depends on who you ask, but I think the public opinion is if we make it past the group stage, everybody's happy.
Okay, because in my case, I'm talking about me, not about the nation. I think if the expectation for me about Panama is just to at least win one game.
Yeah.
Because it's like progression, you know. The last tournament, we score our first goal, we arrive there, we make a good game against Tunisia. I'm pointing there because I have a friend from Tunisia somewhere there. And I think this is the time, and it's a hard group because we have Ghana, we have Croatia, and England.
That's just a really tough group. Yeah.
I was saying, like, my group, I think, is the hardest one.
Yeah.
And I was saying, my group is like, we are the worst one there. I don't know about Ghana, so I would like to interview somebody from Ghana, if somebody from Ghana is watching. If not, maybe I interview this person. Well, yeah. Okay, so what is your group, just to finish?
Sorry, I didn't understand that clearly.
Your group.
Your group.
What is your
we
group?
have Argentina, Bulgaria, and Jordan. And I think we will play Jordan first and Bulgaria last, which...
Yeah, I think your clash is actually with Algeria.
Yeah, definitely. So Argentina is gonna win it, let's be honest.
Even though they were talking that Argentina is not as strong as it used to be because they are not in form, but let's see which one is coming. So.
Algeria is pretty strong. They have a lot of strong players from like League One in France, and I think some play in Bundesliga as well. I haven't looked too closely at them, but I think they're also quite young, or at least young compared to Austria. But I think we are at a similar level. I think that will be interesting.
I think it will be an interesting game. Okay, I think we are done for today. I think we can leave it here, and good luck in the World Cup.
Thank you. And to Panama as well. Maybe you beat England. That would be fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we will. Let's do it. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And see you soon.
Bye.